It is the stated policy of this administration to return American astronauts to the moon within the next 5 years.
5 years is very realistic. A lot of things have to go right.
Our generation wants to go to the moon. We have the capabilities. It's time to start going.
Your go for landing, over. 1201.
There's an interesting dichotomy that we are trying very hard to do something we did 50 years ago.
75 feet, looking good, down a half.
I interviewed Jim Bridenstine in Houston in June. He's the administrator, he's the NASA boss.
So the technical challenges today are maybe a little bit more than they were in the 1960s, where we were just trying to demonstrate an ability to get there.
Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Year after year, I kept expecting us to exceed Apollo, and we didn't. And here we are in 2019, the United States actually does not yet have the ability to send people even to low Earth orbit.
We are up against obstacles that President Kennedy didn't have. We're up against financial obstacles, political obstacles. We have not been spending the money.
But because they are hard.
The moon is our backyard. So if we're going to become a multi-planet species, and if we're going to go to Mars, we first have to learn how to homestead closer to home. We have to learn how to turbocharge old technology with new equipment and new systems so that we can improve on the kinds of missions we flew years ago.
The big components of the architecture have been under development for many years. The SLS rocket, the biggest rocket that's ever been built in history.
The SLS has been a victim of flat funding and changing Congresses. It will be the 21st century Saturn V. It requires a mobile launcher. It's the equivalent of moving a 38-story building at 1 mile an hour.
We've got the Orion crew capsule, which is going to be able to carry 4 astronauts to the vicinity of the moon.
It is our answer to getting humans out in the solar system. Ignition.
Our team from Time was at Cape Canaveral on July 2nd, and we saw the launch abort test. Jettison is critical to being able to get crews into space safely.
The question is, how do we land? We need a gateway. Think of it as a small space station in orbit around the moon, where our Orion crew capsule will take the astronauts to.
All of these tests are underway at an accelerated pace, which is how you get to the moon.
This time when we go, we want to make sure that it happens.
3, 2,
Space appeals to something in us that's so primal, so much larger than ourselves.